Okay, so now I want to kind of show you if you want to add some weird things. Let's just say I wanted kind of horns on the character. Well, I wouldn't want to go in here and go like this. Why? Because that just pulls this polygon structure out to the point where the unification of it becomes weird and oblong. You can do that in some cases. It's just, I wouldn't come too far off the mesh. I wouldn't say, well, going like this would be a smart thing to do because that would not be smart. Okay, Control Z. So what we do is stage another object. Okay, and I'll teach you more about Z-spheres in the next few lessons, after like the next chapter. But basically in this chapter, I just kind of want to give you a rundown on how you would add it to your sculpting workflow. So here we go. If you take and append a Z-sphere and hit transparency, you'll see that it's floating inside the object. If you go to it, I want to just make very basic object. I don't want to get too complex over this. You don't want to make a very complex model as a subtool. There's a bad thing about that. Okay, so under transform, what I want to do is activate symmetry. I also want to turn this to 1. I'll show you more about that later, but I just want to make a very basic structure. Okay, so as long as it's on draw, you can see that it has these 2 red dots. Let's say I make click and drag, and click and drag, click and drag, and hit A. Okay, so you can see, yep, I got these weird things poking out of his head. Okay, let's go into the top view, hit A again, and start maybe rotating these, moving, moving, rotating, and hit A. Okay, weird, right? Okay, but I just want basic polygon structure here. I'm not worried about taking this and making perfect horns out of Z-spheres. Good luck with that. Okay, all you do is have to make it a poly mesh. Okay, go back to your original object, which is really hard to find sometimes. Sometimes it's in here, sometimes it's up above. Kind of go searching around. Sometimes it's your last one. Now append that poly mesh. Reason being, I can't sculpt on this. Don't sculpt on this, it will explode. Okay? You sculpt on this. This you hide. Do you have to have it here? No, you could delete it, but later on you might want to make something else out of it. So I kind of keep it around. Okay, now let's take off transparency. It's a little weird. And what I can do is now show you one more tool along the way. Inflate works rather well with this. I can go in here and inflate the horn. Don't forget to turn symmetry on. And now I can inflate that horn. Okay, and if I want to give it a little bit of a curve, don't forget, if you want the curve to be really natural, that's where you kind of move it inside the Z-spheres. But here I kind of wanted the bull type of horns, so I didn't do that. Okay, now that object can be divided. It can be sculpted on using lazy mouse, move, whatever. It can be added to the object if you want to, or you can keep it a separate Z-sphere. Alright, so that's how you add objects to the other objects. And you can always go back here and say, well, just around maybe the base of the horns, you would want something in this area, kind of like this, to give it the impression that it's coming out of the skull. And just let you know, the traditional demon with the horns coming out is a very traditional piece with ZBrush. Horns, angels with wings, monsters, trolls, whatnot. Doesn't really matter. It's all good. But these are very easy to do at a very new level because you can't kind of screw up something that isn't real, right? So that's why we have fun with stuff like demons and angels and gargoyles. I still do today. All right, so there we go. As your assignment goes, you can either choose to make some kind of weird hair for your object, or horns, or you can give it a nose ring of some sort, or anything as long as you make it out of Zspheres. There we go. So that's your assignment. Enjoy.